Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the daily discussion for the 6th of November 2014. 1 week. 1 week. Oh boy. My name is Tuskeh, and today we shall be discussing being constructive and improving the things around you. Now, this is a pretty heavy topic, but I think it's quite important. As a YouTuber, I get a lot of comments, at least I consider it a lot, and I have time to look at them all. Most of them are very positive, which is awesome in my opinion, and they're very valuable to me. It kind of acts like fuel in a way to keep me working. A very small amount of comments are just kind of downright crazy, and either they're stupid or hurtful, and those ones I just ignore. Some of them, however, are constructive, either positively or negatively, and I feel it's important to take in criticism that I receive. It's very important for improving myself and my channel. But a lot of things on the internet can be hurtful and thoughtless and sometimes just downright intentionally cruel. Now, I don't want to talk about intentional cruelty, that's another subject. Instead, I want to discuss how to voice your opinion and speak constructively. This is quite the issue at the moment, I think. So either in comments on the forums or to your guildmates or even in real life, being able to discuss things smartly and constructively and positively without essentially being an asshole is very important. I understand that this video may very well just be pissing in the wind for all the impact that it will have, but I want to discuss it, and I feel like it's important, especially, as I just said, with this whole Gamergate thing going on. I feel that expressing yourself without vilifying anyone is a skill that everyone should try to achieve. Everyone should try to have it, because it's very important in every aspect of life. But it's difficult. So let's go through what I know. So this is going to be a few points. So first of all, speak positively. In any situation, be it comments, forums, real life, or anything else, positivity is important, and being optimistic can sometimes be quite infectious. Of course, being positive to the point of naivety can end quite badly, but when you're trying to criticize someone's point or offer a suggestion to someone, try framing it in a positive way, rather than just saying, I think this. Even something as simple as changing a comment from, your music is way too loud, turn it down because I can't hear your voice, to, I like the video, but I think that the music is just a bit too loud and I can't hear your voice. It can radically change how someone perceives your criticism. In both instances, you're trying to be constructive. You're trying to say, look, this music's too damn loud. I need to be able to hear your voice because I want to hear it. But by saying, I like your video first, you started it by being positive, by saying something kind, and then you offered the criticism. The reader of this comment will be much more likely to consider your feedback, because they're not perceiving your comment as an attack. They see that you like their content, you see that they're trying to help, and they see, oh, they like it, and they think that the music's too loud. Well, I want to help them, I'm on their side. And it's all about being on the same side in these circumstances. Secondly, agree with people. A lot of discussions are debates, and I love myself a good debate, I really do. But just blatantly disagreeing with someone can really make them quite hostile, and those kinds of feelings are not conducive to a good debate. Even if you're trying to just beat someone on the internet that you feel that they're wrong, if someone says something that you disagree with, don't just say, no, you're wrong, this is why. I think it's much better to say something along the lines of, I see your point, and this is why I disagree. So, for instance, if someone said to you, Warlords of Draenor is going to suck, because garrisons are just a copy of other games' housing mechanics. Instead of just saying, no, it's not, it's unique because of X, Y, and Z, you could say, yeah, it kind of is the same. Games are designed to be derivative, and players have asked for housing systems in games before. But X, Y, and Z are the reasons why garrisons are going to be different. You've agreed with that person. You've made them think that their point of view is not completely invalid, which is very important. And now they're much more likely to see, understand, and agree with your point of view, which is what a debate is all about. It's about being able to understand different points of view. Third, be knowledgeable. This one is perhaps one of the most important things when it comes to being constructive, talking with people, improving the quality of any conversation you're in. Knowledge. You need to know your stuff. It really is that simple. If you're wrong in a conversation, you're wrong, and you need to have the knowledge to say the right things. Researching topics before commenting on them on YouTube or on a forum or on a website or any kind of thing like that can help you dramatically, because it puts a lot of credibility behind your points. And in real life, if you're in the know about a topic, you have an advantage over someone else who maybe you disagree with. So put it into your points. A great example of this is, let's say you're in a family debate of some kind, because it is starting to move towards the family season in the United States. We've got Thanksgiving and we've got Christmas coming up, so I'm going to be spending a lot of time with the in-laws, which, personally, I wish I didn't have to, but it's just the way of things, and they're going to say things that I disagree with, and that's really going to be the case in any kind of situation like that, because people are different. So, let's say that, you're in an in-law kind of situation, so an uncle or, your father-in-law or something like that says, gamers are violent, and games promote violence. Here are some examples. Now, you're in a position, as a gamer yourself, to use your knowledge of video games and the vast amount of information that gamers tend to have about this subject, because video games and violence tend to be quite a hotly debated topic on the internet, and there are a lot of great examples out there of evidence to the contrary of this. And really, you have all of those things at your disposal. So, use it. Get your point across without having a go at the person in question. Reference your experiences, and you'll do great, because you have all of that knowledge behind you. And it's very difficult to just disagree with knowledge. Fourth, be open-minded about being incorrect, about being wrong. At the start of a conversation, you may very well believe that you are completely correct and that the other people in the conversation or the other person in the conversation is wrong. However, different people have different amounts of knowledge and experience, and being talked down by someone who's got the correct point, or being corrected, not only gives you the opportunity to expand your knowledge by taking in criticism or points that you didn't think of, but actually being able to say, you know what, yeah, you're right, I'm wrong, I didn't think of this. Or, you've got a great point, and I don't agree with it, but it's still a great point that I didn't think of. Being able to say those things and mean them is a massive boost to your own credibility. Being able to admit that you're wrong about things will grant you so much respect from people. I know it may seem, especially on the internet, that, disagreeing with someone and then being proven wrong means you've lost the argument and you should just run away and skulk and hide in a corner. No. Being able to say, I'm sorry, you're right, I was wrong, will grant you a lot of credibility, because being able to own up to the mistakes that you make is very important in all aspects of life, really. And just people will see and understand that. And if they don't, then it's very likely that they are just too narrow-minded, and you probably don't want to be having these kind of conversations with them anyway, and we'll get onto that in just a bit. Fifth, and finally, remember that at all times, especially online, there is someone else on the other end of the conversation. A human being with loves, hates, a family, problems and wants, regrets and points of pride. They don't want to be attacked. They don't want to be called names. Of course they don't. No one does. Insulting people will never get you anywhere. And the only thing it can possibly achieve is hurtfulness. The only thing you can do by insulting someone is hurt them. Hurting people is not a viewpoint that I understand or that I agree with, and in my opinion, it is an absolutely disgraceful thing to do. Absolutely disgraceful. So before you hit post, before you start having a go at someone, think about them. Think about how they will feel when you're done with your point. Sometimes you have to disagree with people, and sometimes debates can get difficult and quite heated. But never should you use an insult as a means of winning an argument or presenting criticism. It is disgraceful, demeaning, and it makes you look like you're an idiot, really, because you can't find a good point to make someone understand that they're wrong. You just call them an idiot. You just say something mean to them. That's just stupid, and it makes you look stupid. Of course, I'm probably just preaching to the choir at this point. Most of the people who watch this video would never even think of insulting someone in a conversation. But it's important to remember that on the other side of the internet, there is always another person there, and your anonymity can make insults hurt even more. So don't. It's that simple. Don't. Respect the fact that people can disagree with you, and respect the fact that a misplaced insult could easily ruin someone's day. Now, let's quickly talk about the people that you should have these conversations with, because there are lots of examples out there of people who are just hurtful. And I said earlier that being intentionally cruel is another topic, but it happens, and it is the internet, because that's where most of these debates are going to happen, and most of these conversations and the criticism and all that stuff, it's going to be on the internet. Now, the internet is a pretty harsh place, and there are people out there who will just be assholes, who will just be horrible, who will just be completely insulting and cruel, and there's nothing you can do about those people. I mean, if you can say to someone, why do you do this? And they just don't give you any kind of response, there's nothing you can do. And really, my only piece of advice in these situations is to just stop the conversation. Just don't get involved. Because like I said, there are people out there who comment on my videos who are just randomly cruel, who just say stupid or completely insane or completely hurtful things. And most of the time, I will just completely and utterly ignore them. Which is for the best, really, because this is a piece of advice that I received from day 9. Not personally, it was on one of his videos, but it was just a piece of advice that I picked up from him. If someone's being hurtful, if someone is being negative, if someone is a negative influence in your life, you don't have to put up with it. If I see someone who starts to say something hurtful in an email or in a comment, I stop reading it. I just move on. I ignore it. I don't have to put up with it, and neither do you. You really don't have to put up with all these people who are just hurtful and who are just ignorant and who are just cruel. Well, maybe not ignorant. If you can help someone become less ignorant, then that's great, because ignorance by itself is not a sin. It's not bad. Being ignorant and wanting to stay ignorant is bad. But being ignorant on its own isn't, because someone just might not have the knowledge or the understanding that you could maybe provide them. So, provide it to them if you can. If they disagree with you, if they just say, oh no, you're stupid, you're wrong, you're bad because I label you as bad, then don't have a conversation with them. It's not worth it. You won't be able to win those conversations because people will just be narrow-minded. And really, the world would be so much better if everyone could have these conversations openly and properly and understand that they can be wrong, but people don't act like that. They don't. So you have to be able to identify what people you can have a conversation with and what people you can't, because people that you can have good, constructive conversations with, those people will become your friends. So those people will become people that you can respect and that will respect you in return. People that just won't hear your points, people that ignore you, people that just won't hear your points, people that just ignore you whenever you try and offer them criticism or when you try and make a point in a debate, those people aren't worth your time. They just aren't. And that's a bit of a harsh sentimentality to have, I think, but it is just the way of the world. There are people out there who will not agree with you and who will not give you the chance to prove them wrong. And those kind of people, I think, are not people that you should associate yourself with. So use your head, use your mind, use your brain, and think about what these people are like. If they are negative, if they are cruel, if they are just getting you down, just ignore them. Stop it. Just say, you know, I don't have to take this from you. I don't have to sit here and take your random, ignorant points that you just won't secede as being wrong. You won't even let me have a point in a conversation. So I just won't have the conversation with you. That's the only real answer to it. So it's kind of harsh and it kind of sucks, because I wish that I could have a great conversation with everyone that I meet, but I can't. And you have to be able to identify that. And there isn't really any kind of clear formula for this, but just play it by ear. If someone's being completely ignorant and hateful and they won't let you talk and make your own points, just don't have the conversation with them. However, don't use this as an excuse to back out of a conversation that you're losing. Losing a conversation is just as good as winning one, because then you get to expand yourself, you get to think, you get to be able to take in all these different points. And really, if you're out-talked, if someone corrects you, if you're talked down and you realize that you're wrong, just admit it. And then you're sorted. You're fine. You say, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Thanks for proving me wrong. That's it. Conversation is over. You can have another one. And then the shame and maybe the embarrassment of losing a conversation, especially in public, in real life, that'll just go away. And people around you will say, oh yeah, you know, he was proven wrong. He accepted it. Good. That's good. That is how he should have reacted. That's how she should have reacted. So stay with that, I say. Use that kind of mentality. If someone is an asshole, don't have the conversation with them. If they're not and they prove you wrong, don't be an asshole in return. Accept the loss, because it will make you a better person. So those are my points. Quite a quick daily discussion today, although actually I ranted a little bit, so that's good. And really, this is all in preparation for tomorrow's discussion, which should hopefully be quite exciting. I've got quite a cool announcement to make. So that's it for today's daily discussion. I hope you enjoyed it and you found it helpful. The piece of music for today shall be called Ginsu Valor, otherwise known as the Shadowpan theme from the Mr. Pandaria expansion. The Pandaren are all about balance, and I think that's kind of appropriate for this conversation about, you know, being balanced and having a good debate and being, you know, insightful and critiquing things properly. And of course, I could have talked about it for a lot more, but, you know, music. The Pandaren are all about balance, and the Shadowpan are their only line of defense against their enemies. As such, every single member of the Shadowpan is quite the magnificent warrior that can withstand the fury of multiple enemies. This music represents the elite of the elite, a lifetime of training and discipline, and the willingness to sacrifice one's life for their people. As always, if you have suggestions for topics or you wish to send me your questions to answer on the daily discussion, you can contact me using the links in the description, or you can just leave a comment. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you the best of luck with your gaming endeavors.